Well, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you had a great lunch. I'm Dr. David Deeley. I'm currently at the University of North Florida and teaching in the Department of Communication. And thanks to the athletic department expanding into ESPN3, I also am the executive producer over there. My professional background before going into academia is 15 years on air as a sports anchor, director, and reporter. So, it's about relationships. We have three key constituencies. I'm in the Department of Communication. However, the athletic department is pretty important, as is administration. And as we go through this pretty quickly, the best equipment on campus now is in athletics, and I want our students to get access to it. So it's really not just about sports for me. It's about students getting the experience that they can then go on and get jobs in the industry. Our content is created through the sports athletic department. All of our events that we do so far are in the arena. On the administration side, in the ASUN, there's 8 teams. Currently, our administration funds our athletic department at the 6th level. So there's only 2 schools in our conference that are funded worse. We're a peer institution with Florida Gulf Coast. We should at least be their peer in support, and we're not. And I put ITS down as another entity on campus to worry about. If we go outside and start doing baseball and softball, there's a lot of dark fiber under our campus. We have to go through them to try and get it lit up and be able to use it. So one of the problems is going to be, that's probably going to be a presidential level, bring people together, or they're going to try and charge us, tens of thousands of dollars to use this infrastructure that should be there for the benefit of all. I opted for the club option rather than go right into curriculum for a few reasons. One, I wanted to get access to freshmen and sophomores because they don't take our classes until they're juniors. I wanted a much deeper pool to get into. So first day, we had 30-plus students show up, and we were off and running. The build-out, where to locate it. I wanted a hard silo so it could also serve as a classroom. So it's located in the arena, and we have the capability fiber-wise to connect anywhere else on campus once we decide to go outside. The installation schedule is very important, particularly when it comes to training. If your integrator's not done yet and Ross is coming in to train you on the equipment, it's really hard to train students. They're like, well, just plug them into the rack and set the cameras up, right there instead of at the positions. Well, you get a lot of great experience doing ClearComm communication when the camera operators are in the control room. It's just like the real deal when you're out doing an event. So sweat the small stuff and be on top of that, or it could come back to bite you. So the games finally begin. That's what it looks like. The students are all happy and smiling with their T-shirts on, and for the most part, they've been doing that for the last 2.5 years. How many games is enough? We do 50 events a year, and when a volunteer staff, we're probably not capable of doing much more than that, even though we're about to go outside and do some of those sports. So 65 is probably maximum. It's free labor, and at some point, if they're not having fun, that's going to trickle down, and when they graduate, you're not going to have any people coming in behind them because they're going to get that message that they just work us into the ground, and we don't get much out of it except worked into the ground. Have to remember these students also have part-time jobs and other stuff they're doing. Building partnerships is also something that I viewed as very important. It's a top 50 amenity market. We have an NFL team, lots of other stuff going on. The Jaguars, field trips. We go down there and guess what? Ross is powering those big boards. So our students realize they're learning on Ross stuff, and the Jaguars realize our students are learning on Ross stuff. Relationships are born. We also have PGA Tour Entertainment. SVG had an event there a couple months ago, that you guys were able to tour their facilities. And they're just down the street, so getting students down there. We have the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Crustacean Nation has been born. We have students that are working on their network coordination for radio, as well as doing their scoreboard and streaming productions. We have the Jacksonville Sharks as well, and all this has led to freelance work. ESPN did the conference championship game in our venue at UNF Arena, and students volunteered and ended up getting paid. Opened doors a lot quicker than I expected. We had the experience of doing games in UNF Arena. ESPN didn't, so they're setting up their crow's nest cameras, and they're too low. They don't realize that that walkway down there, once there's 6,000 people in the building, you're going to be shooting a bunch of heads. So our students telling them you're going to need to raise the tripods immediately gave them some credibility and opened some doors. Recruiting, retention, and turnover. I wanted to improve the department's standing on campus. I also wanted to avoid burnout. We call it turnover. The students call it graduation. They leave. So getting freshmen and sophomores is really important. What's next? Outdoor sports, maximizing the schedule, and trying to get students into leadership and management. And that's going to involve a couple of things. They need to be there longer than a year. Course development is in the future, and happy faces. How do I bribe the students? I bring them over to my house for dinners. That's my dog Riley, and if he had thumbs, he'd be on the crew too, probably as a red hat. We have an ESPN3 Facebook page. The students keep up on it. One thing that they do is pick out mistakes on broadcasts all across the nation, and I've ruined them for life. Here's a look at what we end up doing. Hopefully it rolls.
2, 1, we're back.
Thank you.